This is the Golden Gate. It's the East Gate, known as the Mercy Gate, to Jerusalem. As you can tell, it's been sealed up for a long time. The gate said to remain closed until the return of Jesus has just begun to shift. Not because of human effort, not because of coincidence, but by something far beyond earthly power. This isn't just stone and ancient walls. This is a prophecy stirring to life. For millions around the world, this gate is believed to open only for the most significant moment in human history. And now, something is happening that no one expected. Across temples, churches, and mosques, the news is spreading like wildfire. Pilgrims are pouring into Jerusalem, not to tour the city, but to witness what many are calling a sign. A gate that has withstood sultans, conquerors, earthquakes, and centuries of silence is beginning to move. The Golden Gate of Jerusalem, sealed in fear, surrounded by graves, wrapped in legend, may finally be showing signs of fulfilling a prophecy that some believe could trigger the events of the end times. If you're ready to understand what's happening, what's been kept from the public, and why this moment matters more than ever, make sure you like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss what comes next. For half a millennium, this gate has remained unmoved. While every other entrance to Jerusalem's old city has been repaired, opened, or rebuilt, one gate has refused to change. One gate has resisted every hand that tried to alter it. One gate stands untouched, not because of human design, but because of divine timing. The Golden Gate looks directly toward the Mount of Olives, the very place where prophecy says the Messiah will return. In Jewish tradition, their Messiah is expected to enter through this gate. Christians believe Jesus himself will walk through it again. Two faiths, one doorway, and a shared sense of anticipation. But here's what's sending shockwaves through prophetic circles right now. After 500 years of complete stillness, something has shifted. Local witnesses are reporting unusual movements and activity around the site. Religious leaders from different faiths have quietly held emergency discussions. And perhaps most suspicious of all, mainstream news outlets haven't said a word. When prophecy starts unfolding, it rarely announces itself. It doesn't arrive with headlines or official statements. It begins in the quiet, through whispers, signs, and strange events, only noticed by those paying attention. Recent claims suggest that intersections of the gate have been accessed again. No public ceremony, no official explanation, just a sudden, silent disturbance that has believers and skeptics both on edge. Because if the ancient prophecies are correct, this isn't just a gate opening. It's not just historic. It could signal something far more monumental, something apocalyptic. In 1541, Sultan Suleiman the Magnificent didn't simply decide on a whim to seal the Golden Gate. Newly translated Ottoman records reveal something far more unsettling. The Sultan had been experiencing recurring dreams, visions of a mysterious figure approaching Jerusalem from the Mount of Olives, entering through the Eastern Gate and transforming the entire city. Disturbed and unsure what these visions meant, Suleiman sought guidance. He approached Jewish rabbis, Christian priests, and Islamic scholars, and all three traditions told him the same unnerving truth. This gate carried prophetic weight. Each warned him that it was tied to events of the end times. So Suleiman didn't just close the gate. He tried to lock away prophecy itself, but even sealing it wasn't enough for him. He ordered a Muslim cemetery to be placed directly in front of it, forming a double barrier. First, the graves would create ritual impurity, preventing Jewish priests from coming near. Second, he believed that if a Messiah truly came, he would have to perform resurrection to pass through, raising the dead to clear his own path. What Suleiman intended as a blockade may have actually become part of the prophecy. What he meant as prevention might have been preparation, because prophecy often turns human resistance into part of the plan. And the placement of the cemetery wasn't random. By putting graves in the direct path of the gate, Suleiman unknowingly set up the ultimate test of divine authority. Only someone with power over life and death could enter. Only someone capable of commanding resurrection could cross that threshold. In trying to stop prophecy, the Sultan may have arranged the perfect stage for its fulfillment. 2,000 years ago, Jesus chose this exact path for his entry into Jerusalem. He came from the Mount of Olives. He rode on a donkey. He passed through the Eastern Gate. None of it was random. Every detail aligned perfectly with prophecy. Centuries earlier, Zechariah 9:9 had foretold, "Rejoice greatly, O daughter of Zion. Your king is coming to you, humble and riding on a donkey." Jesus fulfilled that prophecy with precision, but the prophecy didn't end there. Zechariah 14:4 reveals another moment still to come. On that day, his feet will stand on the Mount of Olives, east of Jerusalem, and the mountain will split in two. The same mountain, the same direction, the same gate. But his return will look nothing like his first arrival. Not a humble servant on a donkey. This time, a conquering king whose very steps shake the earth. The gate that once welcomed the Prince of Peace is destined to welcome the King of Kings. The entrance that received the Lamb will one day receive the Lion of Judah's same prophetic stage, but a completely different kind of entrance. Now you can see why every attempt to alter this gate has been mysteriously halted. This isn't just an ancient doorway. It's the divine entry point for the most significant moment in history. In 1917, Muslim leaders planned to destroy the gate entirely. That very day, British forces captured Jerusalem, stopping the demolition immediately. In 1967, during the Six-Day War, Israeli forces had full authority to reopen it, but a respected rabbi stepped forward with a warning: only the Messiah may enter here. The plan was abandoned on the spot. In 1993, peace negotiators planned to symbolically open the Golden Gate as a gesture of reconciliation. But the night before the event, something unexpected happened. Both Israeli and Palestinian leaders reported having the same dream, a figure standing before the gate, shaking his head, saying, "Not yet, not by your hands." The ceremony was canceled without explanation. What chills prophecy watchers is that these weren't political disagreements or logistical problems. One by one, every key decision maker simply reversed their decision, almost as if a wisdom beyond their own was pulling them away from acting too soon. And this pattern isn't new. Ottoman engineers attempted to alter the gate centuries ago, and their tools kept failing without reason. British archaeologists tried to excavate near the foundation, only to be abruptly reassigned. Jordanian forces planned to fortify the gate in 1948. But every drill bit snapped and every explosive misfired. It's as though the gate itself refuses interference again and again. Attempts to change it collapse, not because of human opposition, but because something greater seems to be guarding it until the appointed time. And while every other structure in Jerusalem's old city shows the wear of centuries, cracks, erosion, weather damage, the Golden Gate appears strangely untouched. Stone masons say its condition is nearly impossible to explain. It's as if time itself moves differently around this prophetic doorway. Then came 2019, and everything shifted. During Ramadan, a maintenance worker claimed he heard voices praying from inside the sealed chambers of the Golden Gate. At the same time, the security cameras, normally covering every corner of the Temple Mount, mysteriously malfunctioned, but only in the area surrounding the gate. The most crucial footage simply vanished. Soon after, blurry photographs began circulating. They showed a strange, flickering light coming from within the sealed interior, a light with no logical external source, a light that seemed to pulse in a steady, almost heartbeat-like rhythm. Quietly, religious leaders from Judaism, Christianity, and Islam were shown the images. None of them offered any public explanation. All of them requested that the photos remain private. Here's what makes the situation even more intriguing. The response from Israeli authorities. Normally, any unusual activity on the Temple Mount sparks immediate investigation, press briefings, and official statements. But this time, nothing. No acknowledgements, no explanations, not even denials. Just complete, deliberate silence. And that silence only deepens the mystery. When governments refuse to comment on something this significant, that silence often speaks louder than words. Prophecy doesn't usually break into the world with headlines or announcements. It appears through patterns that don't feel like coincidence, through shared dreams, through ancient scriptures suddenly revealing new meaning. Jesus warned that his return would be like the days of Noah. Ordinary life continuing right up until the moment everything changes in an instant. The idea of the inner chambers opening while the outer gate remains sealed fits this pattern perfectly. First comes the hidden work before the visible transformation, the private preparation before the public revelation, the whisper before the shout. What's unfolding inside the Golden Gate right now may not be the final event, but the spiritual groundwork for the physical fulfillment that's still on its way. People who are paying attention are starting to notice. Local religious leaders say spiritual activity around the Temple Mount has increased. More people are reporting dreams about Jerusalem. More unusual signs are appearing in nature. And more events happening today seem to line up with ancient prophecies. For 500 years, the Golden Gate's silence has been its message. Its stillness has been its witness. Its sealed condition has spoken louder than words about divine timing and patience. But now that silence seems to be shifting. That stillness seems to be waking up. The gate doesn't have to swing wide open to send a message. Just the slightest movement is enough to ripple through communities that understand its prophetic importance. The Golden Gate and the Mount of Olives line up with perfect precision. From the gate, you can see the mountain directly. Nothing blocking the view. Nothing out of alignment. When you stand on the Mount of Olives, you can see the Golden Gate directly and without any obstruction. No other place in Jerusalem offers this kind of perfect face-to-face alignment. But here's where things move from remarkable to supernatural. The bedrock beneath both the Mount of Olives and the Golden Gate is made of the same limestone layer geologically. The two sites are connected beneath the surface. So when Zechariah spoke of the Mount of Olives splitting, he was describing an event powerful enough to impact the entire underground structure linking these prophetic locations. Modern seismologists have confirmed a fault line running straight from the Mount of Olives toward the Golden Gate. And recent geological surveys have detected rising micro-tremors along this exact line. Tiny vibrations happening far more frequently than normal tectonic activity can explain Jerusalem appears in biblical prophecy more than any other city, over 800 times. And most of those references don't describe the past, but the future, not what Jerusalem was, but what it is destined to become. At the center of these prophecies stands the Golden Gate, the symbolic doorway between this present age and the age to come. And today's developments read like a prophetic checklist coming to life. The Sanhedrin restored, and more signs continuing to emerge. Temple vessels have been recreated. Red heifer candidates are being prepared. The Jewish calendar is entering key prophetic periods. Global politics are shifting in ways that echo ancient scriptures. And through all of this, the Golden Gate stands silent, preserved not for this preparation, but for the moment when preparation becomes fulfillment. The Jewish community looks to this gate as the entry point for their Messiah, who will restore Israel. Christians believe Jesus will return through it at his second coming. Muslims recognize it as Bab al-Rahmah, the Gate of Mercy. Three major faiths, three different interpretations, but all centered on the same doorway and the same hope. The Hebrew name reveals the heart of its purpose. Sha'ar Harashamim, the Gate of Mercy. Not wrath, not judgment. Mercy. When this gate finally opens, it won't be for destruction. It will be an act of divine compassion, arriving at the moment humanity needs it most. Recently, interfaith leaders in Jerusalem have held quiet, unprecedented meetings about the Golden Gate rabbis, Christian pastors, and Islamic scholars, all sensing that something meaningful is drawing near. They may differ in theology, but on one point they agree. The long season of waiting may be coming to an end. Temple vessels have been recreated. Red heifer candidates are being prepared. The Jewish calendar is entering key prophetic periods. Global politics are shifting in ways that echo ancient scriptures. And through all of this, the Golden Gate stands silent, preserved not for this preparation, but for the moment when preparation becomes fulfillment. The Jewish community looks to this gate as the entry point for their Messiah, who will restore Israel. Christians believe Jesus will return through it at his second coming. Muslims recognize it as Bab al-Rahmah, the Gate of Mercy. Three major faiths, three different interpretations, but all centered on the same doorway and the same hope. The Hebrew name reveals the heart of its purpose. Sha'ar Harashamim, the Gate of Mercy. Not wrath, not judgment, mercy. When this gate finally opens, it won't be for destruction. It will be an act of divine compassion, arriving at the moment humanity needs it most. Recently, interfaith leaders in Jerusalem have held quiet, unprecedented meetings about the Golden Gate rabbis, Christian pastors, and Islamic scholars, all sensing that something meaningful is drawing near. They may differ in theology, but on one point they agree. The long season of waiting may be coming to an end. Even this growing unity around the prophecy is, in its own way, prophetic leaders from three major world religions are sensing the same thing, focused on the same place, at the same moment in history. That alone is extraordinary. Every empire that attempted to destroy this gate has failed. Every ruler who tried to control it eventually fell. Every effort to open it too early has been mysteriously stopped. Why? Because this gate doesn't belong to any nation or leader. It belongs to prophecy itself. For nearly 2,000 years, the Golden Gate has stood as a symbol of patient expectation, a reminder that divine timing cannot be rushed, a physical sign that God's promises may take time, but they are never forgotten. Every day it stays sealed is another day of mercy. Every year it remains closed is another chance for humanity to turn back. Its silence speaks louder than any sermon, declaring with quiet certainty that what was foretold will come to pass. Its stillness speaks more convincingly than any argument about divine sovereignty. Its resistance to every human attempt at interference proves, more clearly than any theology textbook, that some doors can only be opened by the one who holds the keys. Prophecy is patient. Prophecy is precise. Prophecy is unstoppable. What prophecy declares? It fulfills, never on human timelines, but always on divine timing. And that timing is perfect. The gate that has remained sealed for centuries is beginning to stir again. It doesn't open like an ordinary doorway. It awakens like a living prophecy. Bricks can't restrain it. Stones can't silence it. Graves can't block what was ordained long before they existed. When God determines something, creation itself rearranges to make room for it. Seismic activity increasing along the prophetic fault line, political shifts echoing biblical patterns, global events aligning with Jesus' end times warnings, spiritual activity intensifying around the Temple Mount. And at the center of all of this stands the Golden Gate, showing its first signs of movement in 5 centuries. Something is stirring in the spiritual realm around this ancient threshold. The same spirit that inspired prophets to write about this gate thousands of years ago is stirring again today. The same divine power that preserved it through wars, empires, and centuries is preparing it for its final purpose. The stones are beginning to shift. The seals are starting to strain. The long silence is finally breaking. After 500 years of waiting, the Golden Gate of Jerusalem is awakening from its prophetic sleep. And when it fully opens, when the one who holds the keys walks through it, everything changes forever. For 5 centuries, this gate has remained sealed, not to keep the Messiah out, but to preserve the moment of his arrival. Its closure isn't a barrier. It's preparation. It has been waiting, protected across generations, for the exact moment when his return will shake a watching world. The countdown isn't measured in dates or timelines. It's written in the stones themselves, stones that have been still for 500 years, but now feel as if they're beginning to stir. Are you ready for what comes next? Because ready or not, the gate is waking. Prophecies long scattered across history are beginning to align. What were once whispers are turning into distant tremors. And when that gate finally opens, when the King of Kings steps through the passage that has waited 2,000 years, every nation will witness the fulfillment of the greatest promise ever spoken. That moment may be closer than anyone dares to believe.